Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject som kere konsolata konsolferino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey there. Welcome to a very special edition of Wanna Bet. I'm Jason. That's Ben. Upstairs are Gigi and Meatball, but they're tired after a long nap. After a long walk, so you probably won't hear much from them. This is Wanna Bet. We do this 7 days a week. I'm going to guess from the day we launched, May 21st of last year, until May 21st next year, Beltway Ben, I'm going to set the over-under at number of Wanna Bet shows that we end up doing at 346.
Yeah, and I think with the new computer, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't know, maybe using the regular Wi-Fi can work. So if I go on a vacation, that'll work. You know what I mean? Hopefully.
That'd be spicy. So yeah, welcome to Wanna Bet. We're gonna listen to I said it's a very special Wanna Bet. You see our rundown there. We like to keep things in order. Everything nice and tidy and clean, like my buddy G Unit Greg Peterson says on his podcast. Where if you're betting college hoops and you're not at least before you make some of your picks, going and hearing what Greg has to say about them, the VSiN College Hoops betting podcast. Sometimes it runs 5 hours. It's a daily podcast. Then you should. But we keep it all neat and tidy, Beltway Ben. But we've got a 12:45 kickoff in UEFA Champions League. And these are technically some of my fourth down and overtime plays. But I want to get them to you now. And you can pause this. You can do what you want to do, make your bets, and come back to us. Because all this other stuff, you're going to have time before it kicks off. But Bayern is about to kick off at home in the Alliance Arena against Sporting Lisbon. We're on this match from earlier in the week, but there are some plays I like here that I want to give to you. Now, so my fourth and short play today, and fourth and short is where we try to get you paid quickly in games, first half, first quarter, first period, etc. We're going to take Harry Kane to be the first goal scorer in that Bayern-Lisbon game. He averages over a goal a game in Bayern home matches. He takes all the penalties. They draw a ton of penalties. This is a big jump up for Lisbon from what they're getting week in, week out in the Portuguese league. This is a Bayern team that's scoring goals at a rate that really no one in Europe is equaling. He might be the best goal scorer on the planet. He scores in a multitude of different ways. He just had a hat trick in that Bundesliga. This weekend, he entered in the 60th minute, Ben, and he got a hat trick. Means he's fresh and he's in form. And it's been a minute since he bagged a double in the Champions League. So at plus 300, you're gonna get me on him and Erling Haaland first goal scorer bets a fair amount when they're priced this way. We also have a parlay that we're on involving Bayern. Bayern laying a goal against Lisbon. Bayern to score at least 2 goals themselves. Plus, Barca to go half full against Eintracht Frankfurt, which means have the lead at the half, have the lead at the end of the game, and Barca to score at least 3 goals. So Bayern -1 plus Bayern over 1.5 team goals plus Barca over 2.5 team goals plus Barca half full. Look, Bayern have scored 2 goals in every match they've played this season in all competitions. And that's a lot, except for when they scored 1 against Arsenal at Arsenal, the number 1 defensive team in the world. They still got 1 and had a chance to get more. Even with the red card against PSG, they still scored twice. So, and look, I think they're scoring 3 or 4 against Lisbon today. The -1, that's an alt line. Bayern is really favored by, more like 2.5 goals in this match. It has a chance to get really sideways. Eintracht Frankfurt suck right now. They just lost 6-0 over the weekend in the Bundesliga. They are one of the worst defensive sides in the Champions League. They have the second worst defensive record just within the Champions League. They also hemorrhage goals in the Bundesliga. Barca are going to score 3 times against them today. I'm sorry. And I think they're probably going to get them early. Frankfurt are really a mess right now in the back. They've allowed 13 goals their last 4 games, and that's not against Barca. So I wanted to get those out of the way now. Beltway Ben, why don't you go first down first? Since
Did we lose you? You there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that was on my end.
Your screen popped. It just stopped.
It was me? I think it was you.
Oh,
My little icon, when it's me, this connection icon usually flickers and it goes to a weird thing. And it didn't do that, so I don't know.
on YouTube, you're frozen. Or you were frozen. I just pulled it up. So I don't know.
Says you.
I'm watching the video.
That's your version of the truth. There can only be one truth. I'll take the hit. It's probably me. I'm not doing anything. Everything freaking plugged in here.
We're working fine. It happens occasionally. I'm fine with that compared to what we used to have.
Before we had the new laptop.
Yes, the new laptop absolutely fixed things. But yeah, I'll go first for first down.
Did you ever watch Fat Albert when you were a kid?
Yeah.
You familiar with Fat Albert at all?
Yeah.
I feel like Rudy or Mushmouth. I can't remember. Was it Mushmouth who always had the winter hat on?
I don't remember that.
I think it was Mushmouth. Rudy had like the stylish hat. I mean, Rudy was kind of the man, or at least he thought he was the man. Fat Albert was the man.
Right.
But
no, absolutely.
It's a great show. I mean, Cosby disgusts me, but like that, what a man. That was my jam.
First down, we're going to go with Navy's team rushing yards 200 plus at minus 136. Ooh. We're taking this on Tuesday because Saturday morning, game day, I'll be there. I don't expect this number to be here for a fair price. Now, these teams know each other well. I get all that, and they both have that run-first military-style offense. We see it with Air Force as well. Navy has cleared this in 2 of their last 3 matchups with Army over the years, so even in recent years, things have changed. And Horvath is one of the better passers that we've seen at Navy, and he's changed things to force defenses to be a little scared. And earlier in the year, we saw it against Air Force. He threw for 300-plus passing yards against Air Force because they said we're going to take the run away a little bit and see if you can beat us with your arm, and he did just that. Now, with that being said, I don't think he's throwing for 300-plus yards this week at 35 attempts and doing everything he did in that one. I do expect Army to do what they can to take the run away, but with that offense, how it works, there's always the big playability. And for their offense, they've cleared this in 10 of 11 games this season. They're running the ball 48.6 times per game. That's the 4th most in college football. We know how they are. Army allowed 174 to Air Force, and Navy has a lot more guys than Air Force does that can get explosives and do different things. Same type of offense, the ugly running, but they don't have the dogs that Navy has. Navy's been doing this for a while, and one of those games, I said they went over in 2 of 3. The one before that, it's 2 of 4, but they finished with 196, so they were just under 200. I think they're going to beat a bad Army team here, and I would expect Navy to have a lot of success running the football. Again, we saw it earlier in the year with Air Force. They knew how to take it away a little bit, but that got them beat in the air, and we saw Blake Horvath have his best passing game of his college career. I don't know that we see that here. It's usually the ugly. We know the unders cash at an alarming rate, but I was looking at this one considering taking the over. I didn't do it because the trends scare me. I know last year the over cashed. But these offenses compared to their defenses, like Army, their offensive struggle, but their defense is that much worse. They've been really bad against the run all year. They've only allowed 200-plus rushing yards twice this season, but you're not going to see a lot of teams run for 200 yards. And Navy offense is running that many times. I like Navy in this spot to run for 200-plus yards at minus 136.
I think Navy also will like kind of road grading them. It's a rivalry game. It gets a little personal. And I think five rushes from Navy of over 15 yards or more in this game would be about where I would guess. You know? That's where I would guess. Yeah. We're going to stay local in the Baltimore area. That game will be at M&T Bank Stadium, and as Beltway Ben said, he'll be covering it for us at 105.7 The Fan. We're going to go to UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. They are hosting Buffalo, and I like this game to produce at least 146 points, Beltway Ben. Buffalo's top 60 in the country in effective field goal percentage. They're taking as many free throws and shots from the field as anybody in the country. They're top 2. in the country. They are top 30 in 3-point shooting, and they're top 130 in 2-point shooting. This is a UMBC team that's not running at quite the pace they did last year, but they're chucking a lot of shots as well, and they're top 150 in 3-point shooting. They're top 120 in 2-point shooting, so they're above average. And they're not any good. They're defending. They're 292 in D rating. Buffalo also has a lot of deficiencies in defensive rating. The over-under numbers for these teams, I think, are a little deceiving because it really varies by opponent. But this is a weird start, 5 p.m., right before exams. Both teams pretty fresh. I think they're up and down the court. I think both backcourts are trying a lot of threes, probably making a lot of threes. UMBC is pretty good at getting to the line. I told you Buffalo gets to the line quite a bit. Like, the more I looked at this game, the more I feel like I could see both teams getting to 75. Like, I think this game is played in the 150s. There's some computer models that I consulted with, including BetQL. They see this as in the 150s, maybe even the mid-150s. But I will tell you, for plus 115, I'm also on UMBC to win the game. It's a flat-out pick 'em for me. And UMBC at home in kind of a weird spot, getting points, it's a pick 'em. You can get them on the money line at plus 115. I do like the Retrievers there as well, but I like the over more. Beltway, Ben.
Yeah, I'm with you there for the over, not the money line. I will just take the over with you, over 145.5. Since UMBC's coach has been there. Again, that campus, as close as Jason is to Towson, it's about what I am to UMBC.
Yeah.
Right in my backyard. Used to go to a lot of games, haven't been able to as much with work, but they were more fun to watch under Odom. I don't love the new coach. I've heard a lot of bad things about him, but hopefully they can score some points.
You got some tea you want to spill, Beltway, Ben?
It's not on the show.
Maybe for one of our Friday night videos. Beltway Ben exposes the UMBC Retrievers locker room strife and turmoil.
They were in a really good spot before he got there. They just haven't been very good since he's taken over.
I like Ace Valentine. I liked watching him play in the Catholic League back in the day.
Absolutely. I like their team. They're fun to watch. They've actually played pretty good basketball this year. But no, here we're going to the NBA. We're going to the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup, and we're going to take Desmond Bane over 21.5 points, minus 120. Franz Wagner got hurt last game. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. That's a killer for that team. And it's hard to really grade what to expect from their offense without him because he's played in every single game so far this season. It's not like Paolo, where if Paolo re-injures himself, we kind of seen a sample of what to expect from the offense. We haven't seen Paolo on the court without Franz. So it's kind of tough. When Paolo has played, Desmond Bane has not scored a lot of points. I get all of that, but now you're taking away Franz, who's aggressive and controls the rock a lot. I think it's going to mean a strong showing from Desmond Bane. When Paolo was out, we saw him at his best scoring the basketball. Now, he's only averaging 18 points per game, way under this number. But this is one of those must-win games. I'd expect them to handle it like a playoff game because all of those guys want to win money. And if you win this, you go to the semifinals and you have a chance to ultimately compete for $1 million each. That means a lot to some other guys. And Bane, I know he's getting paid solid money, but he wants to put on for some of the guys on the end of the bench that aren't getting paid a ton. I think they're going to play to win this. Mosley knows how important this is. And most importantly for us, the Miami Heat defense is just not good. It's taken a massive step back this season. Tyler Hero's back. That doesn't help the defense at all. It only helps the offense. So I do expect Desmond Bane to get it going. This is a big number for a guy that's only averaging 18 points per game, but I think he goes for 22 plus at minus 120.
Like it. We are back in These Are the Champions. These are the champions. Chelsea traveled to Atalanta. They're going to Italy. Look, both these sides give me pause right now. And there's a lot of data pointing me to just play this is a straight up draw. I have trouble betting draws, Beltway Ben. It's like a not a phobia, because I don't fear it. But it's like a,
you never feel
I don't know
good.
if it's like a quirk or a tick. It's hard to root for draws. Like, it's really hard to root for draws.
Yeah.
Right?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it either.
I've done it before, and it's just no fun. And God, it's a weird way to watch a match. But I'm kind of doing it here. I'm splitting the baby. So I'm taking Atalanta minus 150 on the double, which means if they win, great. If they draw, great. Now, you're also punching yourself in the nuts because if they win, you play the money line, you make a lot more money. But there is a big part of me that thinks it's a draw. Neither side is in great form in the Premiership. I do like Atalanta at home. And as much as they've struggled in Serie A, and I think it's one win in their last 9 Serie A games, they've kept 3 straight clean sheets in the Champions League. And we could quibble about who they played and who they haven't played. But this Chelsea side, the December schedule for Champions League sides based in the Premiership tends to be a bear. And Chelsea's not the deepest side, and it's a really young side, and they've been a little bit exposed domestically, and they've blown some leads, and they're leaky at the back. And again, it's not the deepest side, and they're being stretched in a lot of different ways. And I think both these sides, where they are in the Champions League table, I don't think either one, if you said you could have a 0-0 draw right now, I don't think either one would be all that pissed about it. I don't know that it's all out attacking. Cole Palmer does not look right to me at all with Chelsea. I don't know if he came back a week or two too soon, but I don't know that he's getting it going here. I think Atalanta will be fine to possess the ball in the midfield and knock it around and play to keep a clean sheet. I don't know. I think it's kind of a spot where both teams are okay with what they've done in Champions League. Neither's in great form domestically, and I think they kind of want to get a point out of this and move on and try to clean things up in the Premiership and Serie A, respectively. So that's where we are on this one. But we do like Atalanta at home. Chelsea's road form has really struggled off. And I think the lineup might be a little younger than you'd ideally like for a road Champions League spot in Italy.
I'm going to go to college basketball, and here we're going to mix a number of games up, and we'll parlay them together. We're not even getting plus money, but it's just kind of where I see things going. Illinois on the money line, Indiana on the money line, and we're bringing Michigan's team total down to 75.5, and we're going to play the over at minus 130. Michigan has a matchup with Kevin Willard and Villanova, and I'd be lying if I told you I expected Villanova to look this good this year. They played good damn basketball, but they also haven't played a ton of competition. BYU was the big test, and they battled down to the end on the first night of the season, but it wasn't much more than that. They've had some good Big 5 games. They've won the games they're supposed to, but here they're taking on a beast. And this team, I talked about Gonzaga a few weeks ago saying I thought right now they were the best team in the country. Michigan shut me up 2 nights later because they went out and beat that Gonzaga team by 30-plus points. Michigan, when everything is clicking, really does look like the best team in the country. I just can't lie. They have a lot of vets on their school. They hit the transfer portal the right way. The guys they brought back have a lot of experience. And it's a really damn good Michigan team. And you're facing a Villanova squad that's played good defense, but as I mentioned, they haven't really played anybody that can score the ball the way we've seen Michigan do it over their last few. And even in Michigan's struggles this year, scoring the basketball wasn't a massive issue for them. No. It was more on the defensive end. No. So I don't think Michigan has an issue scoring here against Nova. Indiana on the money line. Penn State's gotten off to a great start, but they also played a few low majors to tough games down to the end. I don't think Indiana at home or on the road at home, I don't think they have any issues beating a Penn State team that, quite honestly, just, I don't know. I can't buy into what Penn State has in basketball ever, and I don't think this is the year, even though they've gotten off to a 7-1 start. And lastly, Illinois on the money line. Listen, I like Illinois. I've seen a lot of people in Ohio State tonight. Ohio State's another team that's gotten off to a really good start, and I can't really push back on anything that they've had because in their good matchups, they've played very well, and the one loss, they shouldn't have lost that game to Pitt. Pitt hits a crazy half-court shot to beat them. Ohio State's been good, but Illinois has already gotten a few ugly losses out of the way. They're a very good team, and on paper, I think Illinois is much better. Now, on the road, it's going to be tough. Underwood has got to get the job done tonight, but I do think they slow Ohio State's roll down a little bit tonight. So again, Illinois on the money line, Indiana on the money line, and Michigan's team total over 75.5 at minus 130.
I did a lot of work on the Indiana-Penn State game, and I think Indiana's obviously going to win that game. I think Penn State might be moderately better than I thought they'd be at the beginning of the season, which was a bottom 3 Big Ten team. But that's a weird series. Penn State, Indiana has trouble beating them by 15 or more, and that's where that spread is headed. If it gets north of 15, I had a busy morning. Last time I looked, it was still around 13.5 or 14. I'm going to take the points with Penn State. Penn State's covered 7 of the last 10 against them, and Penn State has tended to cover on the road against them with great regularity. And I think Indiana, it should be a bounce-back spot. I think it will be a bounce-back spot. I don't know if they're winning by 20.
They do got a new
But if
coach,
they don't
though.
look right in this one, Beltway Ben, I think maybe their first couple of weeks flattered them a little bit.
Yeah, they do got a new coach though. DeVries, we'll see. Penn State, like I can't. Again, there's a lot of spreads today
Like
though
I said,
that I couldn't put my money on.
I didn't get there, but I could see that thing getting like that's a what an 8:30 tip off. I could see us getting off work at 6 o'clock and me driving home and looking through some maps and seeing 16 and a half and saying, I might put a couple bucks on it. But I'm not there now. And I don't think they're winning the game.
I don't
Third,
think so either.
yeah, no. Third down, we are taking Inter Milan on the money line. Yeah, grazie. I should know more Italian, but I don't. But I do think that Inter will continue getting results in the Champions League, and they will beat Liverpool today. Liverpool's in disarray. Mo Salah finding a Norwegian reporter to pop off to right before he leaves for African Cup of Nations over the weekend. That was a chef's kiss. And seemingly guys depending which tabloids you read in London, like the locker room not being all that pissed about it. Some guys may be co-signing it, including maybe Virgil van Dijk. Yeesh. Look, they're just not the same team as last year. It seems to me, like Salah said, it's me or the manager. And they're going to probably stick with Slot, but the things that worked last year aren't working now. They obviously dealt with an unspeakable tragedy, losing a player, passing away over the summer. The new pieces they brought in don't fit, haven't fit. The center back pairing now seems to be frayed a little bit because they don't really have wing backs they trust. Now you've got this Salah on top of it. I mean, Ben, they've got one win. The mighty Liverpool in their last 6 matches. That was against 10-man West Ham. At West Ham, where West Ham sucked. And that was 2-0, and even that was a fight. I just don't buy them. That losing at Anfield 4-1 to PSV, I can't get over that. And now they're going to Inter. And Inter they've had the easiest Champions League schedule you could possibly have. Maybe that continues today. But, Como look like they're going to be in Europe next year. And, I've been paying attention to them. It's an interesting side. I don't do a ton of Serie A betting, but I've been watching them. I like their manager. They just got spanked 4-0 by Inter. Inter's playing well domestically. And, yeah, they've played shite in the Champions League, but they've beat them. 4-0-1, 12 goals scored, 3 conceded. I don't like Liverpool in the back. I don't like Liverpool up front. We've been saying the same thing every week. Okay, Isak finally scored. Let's see him do it twice in a row. Liverpool's conceded 14 times in their last 6 matches. They concede twice today. They ain't winning. I like Inter to win this match. This was plus 130 over the weekend before Liverpool shat the bed again domestically. They're struggling with bottom of the table Prem sides. Things are off there. And I don't think Slot will be back next year. And I don't think Mo Salah will be there on the other side of the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah, I'm going 4th along. We're going to take you just to Sunday. It's a simple play, nothing special, but it is. You have to wait a few days for it. And there's a little bit of juice here, but I don't really care. We're going to go with the Green Bay Packers on the money line against Denver this week, and we're going to play them at minus 130.
Go. Go.
Absolutely. Jason and I talk about it all the time. It's one thing that we are fully on the same, level about. I'm very high on the Packers. I was high on them coming into the year. The Broncos have been good, but they've also snuck past a lot of bad teams. Now, I said that coming into that Chiefs week, and they were able to fend off the Chiefs. Turns out the Chiefs aren't as good as I thought they were when that game happened. I just think that Green Bay is a better football team. 2.5-point spread, maybe you want to play that to get the minus 110, but I'm fine paying 20 more cents in a spot like this so I don't have to worry about anything. All I'm doing is rooting for Green Bay to win. Bo Nix, they're throwing the football with him a ton. I expect that Green Bay run defense to be able to shut them down. And last week does scare me a little bit with Green Bay's passing defense. And the freezing cold, Caleb Williams able to get it going, and them just kind of figuring things out with Noah Dunze. I get all that, but I trust this Green Bay defense enough. And Jordan Love, we're going to need him to be smart with the football. A lot of times when you go to Denver, you're worried because of how cold it'll be and everything going on there. Lambeau is nothing.
Been there, done it.
Denver's nothing for Lambeau. This is a normal spot for this team. They're angry. They still are they're in a good spot to win the division, but they haven't gotten over the top yet. I think this game is crucial for them. They need this one a little bit more than Denver does. Give me Green Bay on the money line at minus 130.
Damn, I just realized something. This really is a different show because we forgot to go over last night's bets and put the ticket up. But we'll just do it at the end. I mean, at this point, right? Yeah, there you go. But we'll fully discuss it at the end. There are some things in that football game that were interesting. All right, so I already gave you guys my fourth and short, right? Hat trick, Harry Kane from the mighty Bavarian Giants to score first in that match. That's now kicking off in 10 minutes. We also have a fourth and long. We like Tyler Algier to score a touchdown in Thursday Night Football. Why is it fourth and long? Well, because you got to wait 2 days for this to cash. And I already gave you a legitimate fourth and short, so hey, had to put it somewhere. Look, I played this at plus 200 when it opened on Bet365. Anytime touchdowns in general, people like them. The closer you get to the game, all the value, even on the more obscure guys, is going to be lost. Now, he's not obscure. He leads the team with 8 rushing touchdowns. And now it's Kirk Cousins back there and not Michael Penix, which means the quarterback ain't involved at all. So there's that. He's got 3 more rushing touchdowns than Bijan on the year. He's also been finding the end zone lately. He's got a touchdown in 3 of his last 5 games, does Algier. Now, if you study Tampa Bay, the run defense has gotten leakier as the season's gone on. It's become a little bit of a problem. And that's the way I think Atlanta's going to try to move the ball on them. And you look at the 8 touchdowns that have been scored against Tampa in the last 5 games. A lot of them are coming from quarterbacks. And why do I bring that up? Well, those are like you look at the scheme, what's going on in those runs. It's power. It's man. It's hat on a hat. That's the Algier stuff. That's not really the Bijan stuff. And again, we're not worried about Cousins running from a yard out, running from 2 yards out, running from 5 yards out. Algier is the drive finisher. I think the way he gets in the end zone meshes with some of the issues Tampa is having defending runs. I mean, look, Bijan might score from 30 yards out like Shuck did over the weekend. Like, he might. But I think they're going to be able to move the ball on these guys enough to get in the red zone. And when they do, I think Algier is going to have a multitude of chances to punch one in. So for almost 2-1, I see value there. Like Algier got what 10 carries in the first game against these guys, all the way back in week 1. I think he gets 10 or 12 cracks at it again in this one, and I think several of them are in goal-to-go situations. So there's only 5 teams in the league who have allowed more rushing touchdowns than the Bucs over the last 5 weeks. And again, that was their superpower most of the year.
I'm going to an NFL parlay, and it's been a while since I went with a bunch of different teams on the money line, but there's pretty good value to me here. So we're going to go with it here. The Bills on the money line, the Bears on the money line, the Packers on the money line, and the Panthers on the money line at plus 573. 3 teams here who are all under minus 150, and then the Bears to beat the Browns. I feel good about that one coming off of the loss that they have. I think Ben Johnson gets right there, and the Browns defense just kind of didn't show well at all. I think Ben Johnson's able to figure that game out. The Bills, I'm going to be on them a lot of different ways this week. I know Jason gave them out yesterday. I am right there with him. Like the last time they played, a lot went right for New England and a lot went wrong for Buffalo. There were some bad turnovers, all of those things. And I know this is on the road, but Buffalo has been fine playing on the road. I don't expect any issues here. New England, they're good. They got a really good record. But like, I don't buy exactly what they have. They don't have enough dudes to me on that defense to really make game-changing things. Christian Gonzalez is a dog. But the edge rushers are fine. They play good football. But, like, nobody on that defense is good enough. I think Josh Allen's going to make a lot of plays. And this is a crucial game for that team. Now, they've fallen in a lot of big games of late, and it's been odd. But they were able to really kind of flip the switch there against Cincinnati when they looked dead to rights. I thought they were going to lose for sure. And all of a sudden, Josh Allen turned it on. The defense got a few big turnovers, forced to be a few big turnovers. And this is also going to be probably the biggest game of Drake May's career so far. I know that first one against Buffalo was pretty big, but I don't see an issue here. I think Buffalo comes, gets it ready to go. And on the road, it's tough, but I do expect them to come ready to go here. The Bears, I talked about them. Packers, talked about them. I like the Packers a lot. And the Panthers. Maybe this is one of those like public, random, why is this spread here? And all of a sudden, New Orleans comes out and beats them. But I just think Carolina's a much better team. I saw what New Orleans did this weekend. That was cool. They shouldn't have won that game. And the weather also played into it a little bit. They should not have won that game. Carolina is a better football team. Bryce Young has been able to do a lot this season. I like Bryce Young to get the job done here. And I think their defense will have no issue stopping Shuck and whatever else they have going. I'm not buying New Orleans even with that. They're banged up as well. But again, Bills, Bears, Packers, Panthers, plus 573 here.
By the way, Ben, I've got 2 overtime plays, and we're going to have to do a little workshop in here. I love Joe Burrow to throw 3 or more passing touchdowns at home on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. And I also really like him to throw 4 or more. Like he just threw 4 against Buffalo, despite giving away a couple of possessions with quirky interceptions. And I'm tempted, Ben, I'm tempted to have this gorgeous beast, our Husky Gigi. I'm tempted to put 2 units on Joe Burrow at plus 200 to throw 3 or more passing touchdowns. Why do I like this so much, Beltway Ben? Well, he's done it. He's thrown 3 or more passing touchdowns in 9 of the last 12 games he started and completed. So we're taking out the Jacksonville game where he got hurt and only had 13 attempts, whatever it was. He's done this in 9 of his last 12 full games. He did this 8 straight games to end last season. Why do I bring that up? He always finishes strong. You could say, oh, well, some of that's when the pressure's off. Whatever. He was on a rampage to end last season. He started this year a little slow. He always starts slow. Then he doesn't play for 2 months. Then he comes back against the Ravens. Should have thrown for 3 there. He had the kid had a beat on a double move and broke the route off instead of going. The first half, he was feeling his way through it. Still should have had 3 there. He's done this in 4 straight games he started and completed at home. He's done it repeatedly against the Ravens. Last year, he had 9 passing touchdowns in 2 games against the Ravens. And he should have done it Thursday night back against the Ravens. He likes to run up the score on the Ravens. They routinely try to hang 30 or more on them. They were pissed that the Ravens used to beat up on them and ran up the score on them a few times. I don't think anybody's worried about Chase Brown touchdowns in this one. I think it's about Joe Burrow filling up the box score. The Ravens' pass defense is a joke. They are the worst pass rushing team in the NFL. They are god-awful. They are the only team in the NFL does not have anyone with at least 3 sacks on their roster. There are 115 NFL players who have registered at least 3 sacks or more for their team that they're currently playing on. None of them play for the Baltimore Ravens. A rookie who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, Mike Green, leads them in sacks. They got no pressure on Burrow on a bad, gimpy leg the first time he played in 2 months. At home 2 weeks ago, I don't think it's happening here. If you give Joe Burrow time, he will carve you up. The Baltimore Ravens are 0-7 this season against quarterbacks, current starting quarterbacks, who have won a playoff game before in their career. Those 7 guys have 15 touchdowns to no interceptions, a QB rating of 110. They're averaging 260 passing yards a game and 68% completions. The Ravens just got exposed by Aaron Rodgers, who everybody thought was dead. So before we get to the 4 touchdowns, you know how my luck's been the last few months, Beltway Ben. Am I crazy to even think about going GG here and trying to get 4 units?
No.
Should I just think about just sticking with Meatball?
No, I think the fact that you hinted at GG and you talk about your luck and the struggles didn't mess anything up Thursday on Thanksgiving at all here. When you played them a bunch of different ways, you had a lot of success there. So, I mean, when you have success in these spots, you should continue to ride it. So, no, I would play it exactly how you want to.
I don't do it much, but we're going to go 2 units.
I was shocked.
I just think at 2-1. Some of these 3 touchdowns.
Have you ever
look how it's priced other places? Like they're not giving it. Like Stafford 3 touchdowns is like barely plus 100, and that won't be there by the time I've played it. By the time I give it out tomorrow, I don't even know where those numbers are going to be.
Have you ever given out GG?
Maybe I should just give it out now. Matt Stafford 3 touchdowns is like plus 100 at bet 365. I don't think that's going to be there tomorrow. But getting back to this, he loves going off on them. Marlon Humphrey's playing with one hand. Nate Wiggins is as tall as I am. Oh, Higgins isn't going to play in this game. Higgins didn't play in the first game. Yoshivas can kill them in the slot. Chase Brown can kill them in the slot. Jamar Chase can kill them wherever he lines up. Gesicki, they can't defend tight ends. And Cincinnati's got nothing to lose. Which is also why we've got Choppy a half unit on him to throw 4 or more. He did it in both games against the Ravens last season. I think the Ravens defense is fugazi. Plus 700 to throw 4. I don't think they're taking the foot off the gas. I don't think they're worried about him getting hurt because he's not going to get touched. And he came back for a reason. Try to get him to the playoffs. Okay, that looks almost impossible now. So what else are you going to do? I'm going to show everybody that I'm still the baddest Mamba Jamma on the planet.
Yeah. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all.
Right.
Real quick.
Okay,
I think that's
Ben.
your first GG.
Yes. I don't think I've used it very often.
I don't think you've ever used it.
I don't think I've.
That's the first time. I'm like positive. I'm
Okay.
positive. I don't think you've ever used it, GG. I've used one probably like 4 or 5 times, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Had success. The futures, Evan Ingram isn't going to cash, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So that's our show. Beltway Ben, let's get to last night here. I told you guys I thought it was odd that Charleston Southern moved down from 10.5 to 7.5. Beltway Ben, I think it went off at 13 in a lot of places. They won by 40. So, look, the game last night, if you watch the broadcast, you heard them say, we think Hurts is going to run more tonight. Yeah, that's what I was hearing. I've covered the league for a long time. Like, the plan was for Hurts to run more last night. Like, I was hearing it through the week, and obviously it came up in the production meeting because they said it a couple times during the broadcast. Hurts didn't want to run it. Like, he's checking out of it. I think they all hate the offensive coordinator. But, like, the fact that Herbert with one arm went crazy running the ball, and at no point was Hurts like, yeah, I can do that too. I found that to be interesting. I guess he just wanted to throw as many picks as he could. The fact he didn't run the ball 8 times in that game. Now, we did lose 2 Beltway Ben on holding calls that negated 2. I guess they're leaning away from the tush push now because they think it's going to go away. Okay, whatever. But yeah, we are chipping away and getting closer and closer to getting in the green. And you crushed it again.
Well, the first 3 downs.
You crushed it on these 3 picks.
Yes, exactly. I always leave, unless there's like a play that hasn't gone off yet. I usually just put the first 3 downs in here.
The first 3 downs.
Yeah. So we did good there. And then we got to overtime, and I played, oh my God. Hurts 15 plus rushing yards. It was attached to both parlays. Those both didn't cash. He had 9, and Jason just talked about a holding penalty negating 2. The one was like a 20-yard run that they took away, unfortunately. We also played Quentin Johnson. We had his longest reception. Felt good there. Thought at some point it would come, and it just didn't. And then we also had the Eagles rushing attempts. And as Jason mentioned, everybody thought that they were going to be running the ball more, and it looked like Hurts was checking out of things. It looked like – I don't understand when something isn't working – in a massive way like that, we keep chucking it. They weren't playing from down enough to have to throw the football that many times, and they kept turning it over, and that kept changing the game, and they just kept going back to it. So I think they got in their own way last night, and it was really ugly to watch, and it made Hurts look even worse than what he actually is. So, but I don't know if that's him or if that's you don't know who it is. Is he checking out of stuff? Is Patolo really as bad as everybody says he is? I don't know.
When a guy with one hand bleeding out is putting his team on the back and just taking hit after hit, and he's fumbling the ball because he's got one hand, and everybody is still okay with him doing that because, hey, it's kind of a must-win game, and the guy on the other side is just like laissez-faire, you get a pick. Oh, man. Bad luck. But, so look, and then the throwing for a touchdown and running for a touchdown, they didn't lean into the tush push when they could have. He had a passing touchdown negated. But again, it was a field goal game, which I thought it would be, and I should have played more field goal props to go with the alt line under that cashed. That's a tough beat if you were on the regular under there because all it was field goals, but there were enough of them and freaking overtime that it killed the 41, but we took it to 44.5 and still had to sweat it. So that's the show. We appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Are we going again tonight, Butway Ben? I keep getting screwed up.
No, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. And tomorrow, that call I was telling you about is now got moved to 1 o'clock. So I think tomorrow we're just good going noon again.
Yeah. I got a haircut at 9:30, but I'll be done before that.
Yeah. Or if you want to go earlier, I'm always here. We can go, but whatever. So yeah, it'll be around noon tomorrow. And then we'll have 2 shows tomorrow.
Yeah. Then tomorrow night,
Right?
when I'm done
The
basketball,
Thursday
come straight
show
here.
we're going to tape Wednesday night, right?
Jury duty. Yeah.
Right. You've got jury duty Thursday. So there you go. We'll double dip Wednesday and then be back probably normal Friday. So thank you guys for tuning in. You want to bet? We want to bet. Thank you for betting with us. Hat trick, Harry Kane. Come on.